Hey everyone, today we're going to make this cute little melted snowman tea light holder out of clay. To get started, we first need to cut a slab of clay. A slab of clay is just a flat piece of clay. We're going to be using a rolling pin to flatten out the clay, but you might want to start with your hand first. Sometimes it's nice to just use your hand and squish the clay a little bit, get it, kind of flat, and then use the rolling pin to do the rest of the work. While you're rolling out, you want to remember that the clay should be an organic shape, a free-form shape, because we want it to look like a melted piece of snow. We also don't want to get too thin, so use your pinky as your judgment. You don't want the clay to be thinner than your pinky. Next, you want to use a sharp tool to create the shape. So I'm just neatening up the edges and trimming off any excess clay. Any excess clay that you pull off, you could use for later on, whether it's making your snowman's head, which, why not? I'll do that right now. So I'm going to roll a sphere, and that will end up being my snowman's head. The next step, I'm going to just put a piece of plastic over the slab that I rolled out. We're going to press to make an indent into the clay. I'm going to use a plastic tea light just to give it the shape so that, I could use a regular tea light, or you can use one of these plastic ones, little battery operated ones. It's really up to you. But I'm just getting the shape so that it has a little depression for it to sit in. And I'm using the plastic just to make sure it doesn't get stuck. Next, I'm going to use some extra clay, and I'm going to roll out a little nose and begin to build my snowman shape. Here, I'm actually just using my finger and the mat to help create a cone shape for my little carrot nose. You want to make sure that it, size-wise it makes sense. That looks a little gigantic, but you might want to pull some clay off and make it a little bit smaller. It's really up to you. The next thing I'm doing is just scoring the surface. Scoring is a fancy term for, roughing up the clay. So we want to make sure that the nose sticks to the face. So I'm using a little slip, score technique, and then I'm going to place that on, press it on. And then obviously you want to blend. So use one of the plastic tools and just spend a minute getting rid of the seam, the little area that shows you where the carrot nose touches the snowman's face, and you want to get rid of that. Next, I'm going to use the large toothpick tool. I'm going to use the back end of it, the flat end, to poke some holes for my snowman's eyes, and I will also use it for his mouth. You could also add some texture if you want to use the little pointy tool to add some texture to make your carrot nose look more like a carrot. So the next thing I'm going to do is start out by rolling a sphere to make the rim of the snowman's hat. So I'm going to do this in a couple of stages. So I am right now just pressing, using my hand. Clay gets stuck to your hand, but you can use a rolling pin also. And you just want to flatten out a little sphere into a little pancake, and then you want to make sure that it doesn't look ridiculous against your snowman. So you might want to take your snowman's head, just kind of compare and see if it's a little large. You might want to trim it. I think that looks okay. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I will start making the top of my snowman's hat using another little sphere. And then I'm going to pinch the clay flat and then use the edge of the placemat and just kind of roll it to make the top. So it's going to be almost like a little marshmallow shape, so like a little cylinder. So I'm rolling the sides and then flattening the top and the bottom, and that'll be the top of my snowman's hat. Next, you want to slip and score to attach the top of the hat to the rim of the hat, and then the rim of the hat to the snowman's head. Now I'm going to attach the head to the melted snow piece. I'm going to make sure that before I attach anything, I just want to aim my snowman's face at the fire so he looks like he's looking at it while he's melting. That's so sad. I'm going to scratch the snowman's head and the surface of the little snow pad there using the scoring and slipping method to attach the two pieces together. Using a blending tool, I'm going to adhere the little snowman's head to the melted slab. So I'm just going to go around little by little and kind of drag a little bit of the clay from the snowman's head and pull it down so that it blends into the base. So this way his head is secure and it doesn't fall off the base. It's hard to get in there with your finger, so I'm going to use a paintbrush and some slip, and I'm just going to make sure that that little snowman's head is very secure, and I can use a sponge to smooth out any imperfections. Now I'm going to start by rolling out a coil. A coil is a long rope of clay, and then I'm going to flatten it out with a rolling pin to make a scarf. I will also be using some other tools to add texture to it. And you'll see me also use that slip and score technique again to stick it to the base. Now this is optional, so you can add the scarf or not add the scarf. I think it makes it look, I don't know, I like it. I think it adds a little something to it, but it's up to you. If you wanted to make something like, I don't know, the sticks of the snowman or the buttons, maybe they fell off, you're free to use whatever imagination you'd like for this part. But I like the idea. It's simple enough to use the extra clay to make a little scarf so that it looks like as the snowman melted, his scarf kind of fell off and haphazardly landed next to him. But it's up to you. Stay tuned for the next part where we glaze.